First of all, Gareth, Fikayo Tomori is back in your squad. How impressed have you been with the way he's been playing for AC Milan?
Yeah, very impressed, Carve. I thought he finished last season well, and we were tracking him closely at the end of last season, and he started well again this season. He's playing at a club who there's an expectation to win every week, so he's performing under pressure. I thought he did very well at Liverpool in the Champions League game, and his next game was Juventus, so he's had big matches as well as the general league games. And I like Fikayo in terms of his aggressiveness of his defending. Because he's got speed, he's confident enough to defend on the front foot, and his use of the ball is improving all the time as well. So I think the move, obviously Milan have been delighted with him. They've ended up buying him, and it's been a really good experience for him.
And Ollie Watkins is back in as well. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, I think we would have selected Ollie last month, but he was injured. He was very close to making the squad for the Euros. I think he's still getting back to full fitness at Villa, we know, but he's a striker who I loved his mentality when he was working with us. He didn't come in and have a look at things and dip a toe in the water. He was really determined to take the opportunity whenever he trained with the group, whenever he was on the pitch. We've got some good centre forward options, couple missing with injury, but Ollie impressed us with his mentality and his ability when he was with us.
Aaron Ramsdale is also back in, it looks like, in place of Nick Pope. Is that just down to the fact that he's made such an impact since he's moved to Arsenal?
Yeah, again, Aaron was with us all summer, so we had the opportunity to work with him for a long period of time and get to understand his strengths. Nick is still, I think, coming back from the injury he had a little bit, and I think Aaron is just in a better vein of form at the moment. And from Aaron's perspective, I think the move to a club again with high expectation, a style of play where he's asked to build with his feet from the back, which is he's coping with really well, and I think is an important factor for us when I look at the biggest matches in particular, to be able to do that from the goalkeeper. So he's really adapted well to that move. His performances this season have been full of confidence.
We were maybe expecting Mason Mount and Reece James to miss out through injury. They're both in the squad. Can you just give us an update on the situation regarding those two players, and also Luke Shaw as well, who hasn't been playing for Manchester United?
Yeah, I mean, clearly they've still to appear for their clubs, so there's an element of the unknown with that. But our understanding is that Mason and Reece have a good chance for the weekend. We'll have to track that. And I think Luke's was more of an illness than anything else, was our understanding. So again, we don't play until next Saturday, our first game, so there's a bit of time, and we'll know more as this week progresses on all of those situations, really.
And two names who are not included, Jude Bellingham and also Mason Greenwood. What's the thinking behind their omissions?
Yeah, well, they don't come as a pair, but they're both similar situations in that they're young players with a heavy load at the moment. I've spoken with both of the players, and both feel, Jude at the moment has got a high level of matches. He's playing Champions League games, he's playing league games. As an 18-year-old, he had a full season last season, then into European Championship, so no break. We have to remember that these lads are still physically growing. So when we're talking about young player development, we've got to be really careful how we handle them and make sure that these are two players we think can be really exciting players for England for the future. But we don't want to overload them, and we've got to be making sure we make the right decisions. So they're very much decisions that have been taken with me having conversations with the players and their families, rather than any sort of deal with the club. I think both clubs we have very good relationships with, and we've spoken to about the situations, but they're not. It's not a deal with the club. It's very much us looking at young players. And normally with these sorts of things, these players would be in our under-18s, 19s, 20s. These sorts of things happen all the time. But of course, the profile of these two boys is much higher. They're both playing very well. So I can understand why people would raise their eyes. It's not a case that we don't think the players deserve to be in the squad. We'd be picking them if we didn't have those longer-term aims and ambitions in mind, I think.
Can I just ask two more questions? The first one about Harry Kane. Obviously, we all know what he does for England. I think he scored in 15 qualifying games in a row. But are you at all concerned about his club form? I don't think he scored in the league for Spurs this season, and a lot of people are saying that he doesn't seem to be himself. He kind of seems to be out of sorts, although obviously, Spurs aren't playing particularly well at the moment either.
Yeah, I can only talk from an England perspective, and every couple of months I think I sit here and have to answer similar questions, and then Harry goes out and scores a load of goals for us. So it's the life of being a high-profile player. You've got to accept that there's going to be that speculation and that intensity of analysis of your performances. Last month we had 3 games. He appeared in all 3 and scored a goal in each. So from our perspective, he continues to be such a critical part of what we do and an important player. And I'm sure he's going to be highly motivated when he comes to see us next week. He's closing in on a number of incredible goal scorers. We obviously had the sad news about Jimmy Greaves in the last couple of weeks, and Harry is in those echelons of incredible names that have scored a lot of goals for England. So he's got a lot of personal motivation with that, but of course he also will recognise we're still 8 points minimum to qualify for the World Cup, and we've got a job to do in that regard.
Just the final one from me. I think for the first time today we've seen a football fan going to prison for abusing a professional footballer online. I just wanted to ask you if you thought that was a sign of progress. Does that show that steps are being taken to eliminate racism from social media and also from football and society as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I've only just learned about the specifics of the case, or I'm not aware of all the specifics of the case, but the sentence. So, yeah, look, I think all I would say is that it's important that we do take the online abuse, the abuse in general society very seriously. I think we're recognising the importance of that. We want a tolerant society, and I think that's where we're heading. So, yeah, for me, they're the important messages at this time.